Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me is my bestest best friend in the entire world, CHUBAX. How are you doing?
Exhausted from all the vacation.
Yeah, sometimes we need a vacation from a
The vacation.
vacation, and
Amen.
yeah, and that's where we've been. That's why we missed an episode a week, giving you quality reviews of shows and movies that we've been watching. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Thank you very much for the view. The plus 63 HP stable of podcasts includes this particular reviews show that drops all Mondays and Tuesdays. We review, deep dive into a movie or a show and provide you our opinions, our ratings, so that you might be encouraged to watch or not watch these particular movies or shows. On Wednesdays, we drop our first D&D campaign that we recorded for your viewing pleasure. Our very first campaign. We never did it in high school. We never did it before. We're having a great time now. Those episodes drop every Wednesday. On Thursdays, we have a curated list of trailers, short videos, clips, featurettes uh, about the upcoming content that will be dropping in the next few months slash years. We watch it, we react to it, we give our plus or minus ratings about it, and then hopefully those things will inform you about things that you might want to be hyped on in the next couple of weeks or months. On Fridays, we have another D&D show. Chubax and RJ has a second campaign running
Yes.
where they are the bad guys. So those episodes drop on a Friday. So from Mondays through Fridays, or most Mondays through Fridays, you'll have new content to enjoy and interact with us. If you haven't yet, please go to youtube.com/plus 63HP. Hit that notification icon, hit that subscribe button so you know when our new videos will be dropping. It helps us with algorithms and helps us grow this community of like minded individuals that likes good content. If you want to interact with us more, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with the handle at plus 63HP. We love interacting with you guys. Feel free to follow us in your social platform of choice. And if you don't want to see our faces and you just want to listen to us while you're working or doing your chores, we are also available in all the major podcasting apps. We prefer Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. But if you are doing Pandora or whatnot, we'll be there too. Um, Next week, we will be discussing in the review show the second half of this wonderful Star Wars Disney Plus series Andor.
Yeah.
But before then, this week we have a fun little new show that dropped on Netflix this past October called The Midnight Club. Before we go into our thoughts, our deep dive into the first half of The Midnight Club, because it does have 10 episodes, uh, friendly neighborhood spoiler warning because we are a review show. We will be discussing some plot points of the show. So if you haven't yet, feel free to pause on this episode. Watch the first 5 episodes. That's what we'll be discussing in this particular episode, and come back and then let's discuss a little bit more. All right. Friendly neighborhood warning done.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Now let's before we turn it over for the synopsis of the first 5 episodes, Trubox. Just in general, we've seen the first half of this 10 episode series. Each episode is around 49 to 58 minutes long. It is of the mystery thriller variety, little bit of horror in there. Mostly teeny because it surrounds the characters that are mostly on the teenage demographic. What are your initial thoughts of the Midnight Club in general?
I'm liking it. It came out a little slow maybe, but it took its time to establish the characters. I didn't like everybody at first, but then
Mm-hmm.
learning about them slowly, and everybody's quirks. I mean, they are dying, so they're
Mm-hmm.
they're damaged people. They have their own issues and whatnot. So yeah, I'm liking. I want to see where it goes though.
Yeah. Yeah, same with me. Like you hit it, you hit the nail on the head. The first, maybe, yeah, the first, maybe second episode too, fairly slow. But in general, we are big fans of the Mike Flanagan universe. All the
Mm-hmm.
things that he has done has a certain aesthetic. Like he has this kind of, I think it's the cut or the editing quality that makes, not so scary stuff a little bit more suspenseful, kind of engaging, but not too much, not campy. I mean, the look of the sets, the actors and actresses, the ghosts, the monsters, they again, there's a high quality that you kind of like see in it that makes you engage. But of course, it's 10 episodes. It's not going it is a kind of a sometimes a slow burn. Like not every episode will hit depending on your taste. um yeah, but I luckily had a little bit of time. Like when we planned this out, I was just going into my heavy week at work, so I was able to like plan out like I have to finish this in a couple of days, and I did because like I was really really engaged with everyone's stories. It was super fun. It looked great. Acting was great, and we'll have a few stats here too that will be fun. But with that, right? Non-spoilery initial reactions done, we're just gonna go through the quick synopsis of the first half of the series, and then we'll close it out on our thoughts and where we'd like this particular series to run into, to go to. Chubax, take it away.
So we'll try to, yeah, do this very quick. So we start in the mid 90s with a teenager named Ilonka. So some of this is helped by Wikipedia. She
Mhm.
finds out that she has terminal thyroid cancer. Following
She died.
following visions she's been having, um, and the like normal healthcare has wasn't working. She finds this hospice care for teenagers called Brightcliff Hospice Care, and I think she had the
Mhm.
vision also of it, right? Even before she found it, and basically there she meets a group of teenagers like herself who are all dying different sicknesses and diseases, and where she finds out that the real reason that she goes here is because she found out that there was a teenager named Julia Jane who was supposedly cured of thyroid cancer that she had.
Mhm.
So from there, she's trying to. So basically, yeah, the overall arc for the first 5 episodes.
Miraculously cured.
What was that?
Miraculously cured.
Miraculously cured. Yeah. So basically, the first 5 episodes is her trying to figure out the mystery of Julia Jane and Brightcliff Hospice and how to cure herself, or how did Julia Jane cure herself so that she can copy it. So, each episode, basically they have like the Alone in the Dark style stuff of where every midnight
Mhm.
the teenagers sneak out into, I think it's like the living room, or like I don't know what they call that.
I think it was a library, right?
And oh yeah, yeah, the library. And then they tell each other ghost stories. And so the first one was, what's his name? I'm so confused with the names. The first one was
Wait,
Spencer, I think. Yeah,
Spencer, the one
Spencer.
with okay, we don't know what we have. I don't know. I don't know which episode, but we don't know what
Yeah,
Spencer is in for.
he was the one with the so he tells his ghost story, and then Ilonka also tells her story about a semi fictionalized story about Julia Jane that, in the end we she admits that it's kind of real, and
Mhm.
she's kind of getting to a liking with another patient named Kevin, and then
Yeah,
we go to episode 2, the two Danas, where it's Anya.
well, before
Um,
we get to episode 2, Episode one of the Midnight Club actually has the record for the most jump scares
Oh, really?
uh in one movie slash TV show, which is kind of great. It has a total of 23 jump scares in just in that particular episode. It's also that was a fun thing when the Midnight Club came out. Everybody was hyped about it because it was a Mike Flanagan joint, and that was one of the things that they promoted the most because that the story that what's its name again? Um, the story
Spencer.
that Spencer was saying or telling was about this like in a cul-de-sac where everybody was looking at him, and then this lady is like screaming at him from
Many,
afar
many
from
different.
nearby, just kept yeah very so it's one of the cool things that it could have been really really bad having that many jump scares, but it was uniquely done.
But it was also like
Yep.
meta in the sense that like poking fun of the genre as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
it totally did. And the good thing, it's like, yeah, it's kind of breaking the fourth wall, but not because they're telling a story, right? And then sometimes the audience will interject and then asks like, why did this thing happen there? Because they have a real audience, and sometimes they amend the story mid-flight, but it's kind of cute. I did like like the aged up version of Are You Afraid of the Dark, with a bunch of kids selling each other
Mhm.
ghost stories.
And
So like
at first
even
I
here in the first
was
episode, like,
go go.
no, it's like, yeah, in this first episode, I was just like, man, they all made these stories up in their brain. That's very impressive for all of them. It's like they have great delivery and they're engaged. Cool.
Well, actually, that's what also that hit me in the opposite way. Like I was like, at first I was like a little not disappointed. I guess I was disappointed in like I was expecting these like really Haunting of Hill House type of horror stories, but they made it they're more campy, more kids. But then as
Mhm.
you watch it, you realize like I love it because uh it the stories are like these are not writers, they're just coming up on it on the
Yeah.
fly. So you can see that in what they're telling, not only visually, but as you said, they're cutting in. And it's a little more funnier, and also it's fun to analyze later how the story, what parts of the story are from their lives. Because it's not very
100%.
very obvious at the start. So anyway, so that was
That's the favorite part of, I mean, the first episode you won't be able to get it because all right, they're telling ghost stories, but as the episodes go along, even the genre of the ghost stories changes. And there's reasons why. And again, you're right. There's inspiration from their previous life. There's experience with their current situation, and then the story. So
in the
the
different
more
genres
that
as
we
well.
get to know the people, yeah, the more like, oh, that's the reason why they like that particular story. That's the reason why that story is the other thing. But please go ahead.
So next episode 2 is the two Danas. So yeah, Ilonka's still trying to investigate Julia's story. We find out that Brightcliff, the building that they have was home to a previous cult named the Paragon. And there's
Paragon.
something fishy with the doctor who's in charge of Brightcliff, claiming ignorance on both Julia and Brightcliff and the Paragon. But she does meet another suspicious character in the woods named Shasta. And then Anya goes on and oh, Anya's starting to see some visions as well, shadows with red eyes. And she tells the story of two Danas about like a girl who makes a deal with the devil to split herself into two. That just goes
Man,
belly up.
experience both. Yeah, I mean,
So
like that's obvious. They Anya also the bitchiest among the crew,
yeah,
like
and then
very bitchy.
very busy. Yeah. Sorry, Ilonka has a vision where she's like in a past, like an old film, like black and white film, but she's normal, and then she's seeing an vision of a ghostly old woman who's not attacking her innocent, but just really scary. Then we go to episode 3, The Wicked Heart. This is where Ilonka's studying Julia's case file that they found in the last episode, when we get the symbol of the hourglass and the number 292.13. So she tells Kevin about the vicious whisper and visions and the whispers that she's hearing, and about the file. And one of the patients that doesn't didn't really have a lot of time, but Tristan dies, and then uh, another of the teenagers, Natsuki, is also starting to see or hear Tristan in her room, even though after Tristan died. So
Mhm.
they're all seeing some things, and then we get to Kevin, who tells a serial killer story. That I don't know yet how much it applies to him, but it's fucked up. And then uh, so this is where they find the secret floor with the hourglass in the elevator. They find a button, so they're able to go beneath the basement into the supposedly cult area. That's where we go with
Very what do you call this? Very serendipitous and lucky that they were able to figure out there was a button that was pretty clear, but they weren't able to figure out the code to open it. So being able to like press certain things, like
yeah.
that's very video gamey.
And then that leads us to episode 4, Give Me a Kiss, where Elonka and Kevin bring the club to the secret floor. They find records of the original Midnight Club founded by Julia in '69, as well as evidence of the cultist. She sees Shasta again in the forest, and we have a tiff with Sandra, who. So at the first few episodes, I was like annoyed with Anya uh and Sandra, the religious girl, most. But
Mhm.
then they turn it around. So like in this episode,
Yeah.
she became the most annoying. But I think when is it in this episode? Yeah, in this episode, after her story, she apologizes, and we see her that yeah, she's cool too. And
And
so
this is where I think that this episode 4, this is where the good thing about the story, the telling of the story towards the end of the episode, right? They use the story to tell a story. They use the stories to tell the story of themselves, but it's also a vehicle to kind of like converse
mhm.
with the people within the group as well. So if I can't tell you I love you, or I am sorry, or I can't tell you why I'm this way, and we're not enjoying each other's company, we're not understanding, like Anya is the bitchiest person, the most cynical person, and then I forget the name of the super religious rich kid.
Sandra.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Sandra. She's super religious, and she's like, she has that's her point of view. The story becomes a way for them to kind of like understand each other, which was like, all right, this is it's pretty cool. Like the first few Midnight Club stories, just talking was just all right, scary stuff, telling you about my fears through other stories. Now we're using it as a force
Different, yeah,
for
different
making yeah.
different modules though.
Mhm.
So yeah, she tells detective story, noir story. So we get like a black and white style. That was pretty fun too. And then Kevin goes to his girlfriend's senior prom, and then Ilonka realizes that the 292.13 is the decimal system for the library, and he finds the book. It was the diary
Is it
of
a spell book?
no, it was just the
Mhm.
diary of the daughter of the cultist. I forgot her name. No,
Mhm.
anyways, the ending, Anya sees the shadow and collapses. And start at episode 5. See you later. Ilonka gives Anya CPR and revives her, not knowing that she has a DNR. But then
Mhm.
she finds the book by Athena, the survivor of Paragon. She's a daughter of the head of the Paragon cult, where they reveal that her mom, having lost the husband and and the son, she goes into like her alternative medicine, but goes crazy and just heads into cultish beliefs and practices. So Athena escapes with the children and calls the police, and they find the cultist dead. And Athena saying that it was an accident, but Athena thinks, oh no, the mom saying that it was an accident, but Athena knows that the mom did it premeditated, or like it was a blood
Mhm.
sacrifice or something. And then uh, so Ilonka thinks that Julia read Athena's diary and found the cure. And you think Julia Jane is Shasta?
Well, you have to find out.
Oh shit, you've seen it already. So and then and then she keeps seeing visions of this old woman that keeps leading her to Kevin, right? I think the second time also. And then we go back to Midnight Club, and Spencer tells them of a vision also that, so Ilonka admits that she's been seeing this vision. So some of them are coming out with their own experiences. And then Amesh tells a story which is my favorite so far, the Rahul Kohli story of the future, the
It's like
gamer,
the mini sci-fi episode with yeah, I really like that.
which had a happy ending in a sense. So she didn't get the
Kind of
girl,
happy ending, yeah.
and we get Anya uh confessing to Ilonka that she's scared of the shadow, and then it which makes Ilonka more determined to find a cure. And that's episode 5. And I want to watch more.
Yeah, so that is again the first half of the Midnight Club. Again, this is where uh the first maybe the first episode is setting it up the setting up the entire series a little bit more um less in depth, a lot of exposition, but every episode we get into, again, like we mentioned, the through line of Ilonka figuring out what's happening with Brightcliff, what's happening with the surrounding areas of Brightcliff, finding more and more evidence of the catalog evidence of what had happened there before in terms of the miracles and the weirdness that had happened, whether they um, are related or not. Every episode just provides slightly more depth while
Mm-hmm.
we get deeper and more complicated conversations about the Midnight Club themselves. So that's kind of cool. There's like two layers of kind of discovery of the kids, like the dying kids, how they're tackling their imminent death, how they're tackling their different types of diseases, because
Mm-hmm.
some diseases act them differently than the others. It's kind of a nice mid ground of something that is super scary, but actually not as scary, despite that they still had the record for most jump scares in one episode. Yeah, it is like so. What are your last thoughts? And how would you rate the first half of the Midnight Club?
Uh, so yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm liking it. I'm liking the kids. It took me a while to get their names, but yeah, Spence, Amesh, Kevin. I still think Kevin's a little sus, but we'll see where it goes. For my rating, uh, I was up and down with this, or down and then up. I'll go with an 8 for now. Solid 8.
Yeah, I will go with an 8 as well. Same reason. Like it started really slow. The first episode, maybe the second episode too. The Tale of Two Danas. It's like I think having a non-likable character such as Anya kind of drive that episode early, kind of like deterred from like me jumping into it really like
Mm-hmm.
feet first. But the more we knew about the different types of stories, the more I realized that, it's not just Ilonka. Like I thought that there was going to be like one or two main characters, and there's going to be three or four that are just going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
The more episodes that I saw, there was like, oh, like even um the rich kid and even the religious kid, even the Asian guy. So you see the distinct is like I forget the names, like even the Asian guy had the reasons why they were a little bit slow to get introduced and interpret or run their stories. Like even the versions of stories having Kevin doing his he doesn't do one story per session. He does this serialized long story that everybody hates because he always says
Yeah.
like you're just gonna have to
Have to
live
live.
another week
Yeah.
to realize. So that's super cool as well. So I really enjoy it. Again, I flew through this in like
Very
maybe
fast.
3 days because I did watch this leading into um Halloween and all that. So the hype around it was I kind of got caught in the hype. I was impressed with the kids. I was impressed with the look. Luckily, we didn't have a lot of like we Lord of the Rings just ended, so I was
Mm-hmm.
like I'd a slot super free. So really enjoying this. So I'm looking forward to us discussing the second half and closing this out. Cool. With that, that is a quick review of the first half of the Midnight Club. We're currently standing at eights, so that's something that is excellent. Oh, so something that's great. So it's
Great.
like if you, so it's a great show. I know we are just finished with the Halloween scary season, but this is something that you might want to like pick up next year, or if you guys have a weekend with a date that you want to like cut a little bit more, like there you go. This is it's a fun series to watch. So with that, please join us next week. We will be discussing the second half of Andor, episodes 6 through 9. Another amazing show. I am totally digging that. We'll also have the second half of the Midnight Club. We have plenty of other shows. Please don't forget we have our D&D shows on Wednesday, our React shows on Thursdays, and we have movie and series of the week during Mondays and Tuesdays. So please subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/plus63hp. Listen to us and on your podcasting app of choice, and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Our handle there will be +63hp. CHUBAX, final goodbyes.
Yeah. I can't wait to finish it so that we can discuss it. So we're doing Andor and Midnight Club next week, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Let's.
sure.
Yeah. I want to finish it. So.
Cool. All right. On behalf of all the other boys in the +63 HP crew, I am Jong, and thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.